Hi, everyone. I am excited to talk to you guys all about one of my favorite topics, and it's emerald. And I believe that this is such a key thing in your business, and it's just something that I've always loved. So real quick, let me introduce myself. My name is Megan Blinka. I am a two-time elite Beachbody coach, and I'm the leader of my One Fit fam. And I got started in this business, and I feel like it was kind of like off like a rocket, and I hit that emerald status from the get-go because I watched other people getting those shout outs and being recognized. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to make this a business that people look at and respect me as a business, then I need to start doing things that other people are doing who run this like a business. So while I was brand new and may not have had a lot of experience or challengers under my belt or a team to really coach, I needed to get started. And for everybody, getting to emerald, achieving emerald is that first step. And what I really want to talk to you guys is a little bit of how you can get there and who's going to get you to that first step. So we will start with the who. These can be your new coaches. You know, you're thinking you've got two people, one here, one here. You're at the top, one on each side. Who are these two people going to be? First and foremost, I encourage you to sit down and think about it. You know, just think who could be two people who you could ask to join you in this, whether it's a spouse, a parent, a sibling, a grandparent, a friend, like somebody who's going to trust you. And I'll be honest, my first two coaches were one, my husband, and two, my sister. And my sister, I signed up first, and she's active duty military. So she was actually deployed. She's with the Navy, and she was on a deployment. And I got started in this, and I was excited. And I sent her an email, and I was like, "Look, just signed up as a Beachbody coach." And I told her she knew the programs, but she had never drank Shakeology. And I was like, "This stuff's amazing, and I love it. And can you help me out?" You know. Like, think about if you were starting any other business. Like, you would ask your friends and family to support you. Don't feel like this is any different. And I really just asked her, can you help me? Can you help me get this started? She, shared that while being deployed, your nutrition choices aren't exactly the best. And she was quick to say, yeah, like, I'll give it a whirl. So she ordered a challenge pack and she got her Shakeology. But I said, hey, because you're active duty, you can actually get this cheaper than I can get it. And I'll send you the form to fill out. And I actually went ahead and sent the forms all in for her once she filled them out. That way it wasn't like a bother to her. But she was my first coach, and it was more driven by the military discount. So if you have military members in your family, think about that. And when I got that first coach signed, I remember my coach messaging me saying, "You're halfway to emerald, way to go." And I was like, what in the world is emerald? Like, at the time, I didn't realize it. I knew that my sister could get that discount, and that's what started. But when I was told I was halfway to emerald already, it kind of clicked and started to make sense. And I was like, all right. So I got one, and now I just need one more. And at that moment, I signed my husband up. I decided, like, I watched and started to learn more and more about this business. I knew that this was not something that I was just going to maybe kind of sort of do. This was something I was doing and I was going to succeed at. So I signed my husband up. He was okay with it. In the beginning, it was like, well, if I can get a challenge pack, and maybe I can use the fitness program, or I could raffle it off to a challenger, or you can get a 3-day refresh, or get the packets and sell those packets off. Now, in time, my husband began drinking Shakeology himself, so it was no big deal. But early on, when you're not sure, how can you sign up a spouse, and then what are you going to do with the product? Like, not all husbands are like, yeah, I'm going to drink Shakeology just like you. They're usually like, why are you wasting your money on that? So if your husband is not going to drink it, think of it as that you can use packets to sell off. You can use a 3-day refresh to raffle to future or current challengers or something along those lines. So those are my two people. My sister and my husband. And I'll be honest, once I got my sister, it opened my eyes up to other active duty military. Now, I come from a family with a lot of military. Someone that a lot of people don't always think about are your grandparents. So if you are lucky enough to still have your grandparents alive, a lot of you may be in a similar boat that I was, where my grandfather is a veteran. So my grandparents, they don't have the healthiest eating habits. They are both diabetic. One is type 1 and one is type 2. They both need help with their nutrition, and they know that. They know what it's like to spend money on medicine because they've been doing it for years. So with this new adventure that I was starting, I was able to talk to my grandparents about it. And to be honest, they were excited to try it. But here's the deal. Because my grandfather was a veteran, they could sign up for the discount, get 2 packs or 2 things of Shakeology a month for $200. They're paying $100 a bag. This, you're getting it, less than $4 a meal. They're not paying that fee. They could sign up without having to get a challenge pack if they don't want the fitness program part of it. But it's a way to get another coach under you. Similarly, thinking on that older age range, I have a great aunt, my grandmother's sister, who can't eat solid foods very well. Or I think she had something where she needed to be drinking more. And she was like, what's that stuff your grandmother talks about that gives her all that energy? I want some of it. And again, signed her up under my uncle's name because he was a veteran, and she too gets that discount. So I think sometimes, you're quicker, or you're more quick to think about people who maybe your age or maybe just like your parents, but go beyond that, because oftentimes people who are older can really benefit from the nutrition that Shakeology provides. And it's not just about the fitness programs. Well, yes, those are great. This nutrition you can't get other places, and it sure beats a pile of vitamins. And when you're getting a meal that's quick and easy to prepare, I think it's a win all around. Also, other people who you can think about are, your current challengers. One thing that I started doing with all of my challengers is when they order the challenge pack and they're joining my challenge group, I send them a little note. Send them a little note saying, thank you for joining my challenge group, but that's not it. I throw in a packet of Energize and Hydrate and sometimes Recover, but I give them a little extra something. It doesn't cost me a whole lot of money, but it shows my challengers like I really care. Now it's twofold. For one, I do really care, and I want them to experience these other products that we have, because sometimes it can be overwhelming if you just look, but we have great stuff to offer. I drink Energize every day, not because I have to as a coach, because I love it. So I want them to see it, and they're usually hesitant to buy it. So if they can try it, chances are they're going to drink it. So if you've got a lot of people who are signing up with the All Access Challenge Pack, and that 10% discount doesn't really make sense to sign up as a coach, here's the deal. If they want more than just Shakeology, they are going to want that discount, right? So if it's a break even for somebody to be a discount coach and buy Shakeology every month, or somebody to be a club member with the All Access and get Shakeology every month, your cost is the same. But it's cheaper if they're going to buy Energize or Focus Energy or the Power Greens or Digestive Health or any other supplements. It's going to be a lot cheaper for them to become a discount coach. That, again, is another way for you to start building your team. So a lot of times, I just share how I do that extra little step for my challengers. But here's another reason why. I was a challenger turned coach. A lot of my team has been built on challengers turned coaches. I don't know if it's just because that's what I was, that's what I tend to attract, or it's just because I love my challenge group so much that they just see what can happen in potential, and they just want to coach. My goal is to turn my challengers into advocates, so that when they are going through a challenge group and getting results, they just want to be a coach because that's the next natural step for them to do. So when you can love on your challengers and show them what your team culture is like through your challenge groups, it's a more natural transition for them to want to become a coach without having to force them. Again, it just takes 2 people to get to Emerald. Your first two challengers, they love it and love the products and want to continue. And maybe it starts as a hobby the way I was when I got started. It could turn into a lot more. So love on those challengers, because those challengers could become some of your first coaches. And something else that I suggest you do is start tracking people. Maybe it's not people that you're going to be reaching out to right away, but think of those people who are going to make a great coach. And don't just write their name down. Once you get that list, you have to tell them. You've got to tell these people how great you think they're going to be as a coach, because when you give that compliment, even if they are like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to coach, but thank you, you're planting that seed. So letting people know, like when you see someone who you think would make a great coach, don't hold it in. Tell them, I think you would make a great coach. Would you like to check out more of what I do? You don't have to come up with a fancy script. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just straight up ask them. If you have a reason you're thinking about it, or maybe it's just that you're loving the atmosphere of the challenge group and the vibe on your team, and you just want to then tell them that. Because they might be thinking it and they may not want to ask you, but if you throw it out to them, what's the worst they can say? No? That's no harm done, right? So, and put the fears behind you and just get in the habit of asking people when you think that they could make a great coach. And if they're not sure, who knows, they could at least be a challenger. But don't be afraid to offer that opportunity. So when it comes to, I talked a little bit about who are these people that you're going to get there. And now there's different ways to go about it. Just share it with the coaching opportunity. You can start with the coaching opportunity. And if they're not sure about that, kind of go back to a challenge group, but be able to throw that out there to start and get that seed planted for them. I often use the language of our discount membership. I've been talking a lot personally about the Shakeology Boost because I use them. I actually do use all three, but I used them for a while before I started telling my challengers about it. Now that I've been more like, this is what's in my shake, I'm listing it out, not just like, had my shake. But when I'm logging in the tracker app, I've been saying, these are what I've been putting in it. People are curious about it. Like they want to know like what these boosts do. And when I share with them, they're more likely to want to buy them because they see me doing it. They trust me already. They're in my groups. I recommended a program. I recommended Shakeology. I recommended this, and they're doing it and they're liking it. So they're more likely to want to join in and try what I'm trying. So offering, when they have more products that they want, that discount membership is that much more enticing. And then once you get them in line with the discount, even if they're only coming in for the discount, that's another opportunity for you to say very simply, I know you signed up just for the discount, but I really think you would make a great coach on my team. Would you be interested in learning more? Again, not a big, long, drawn-out script, not anything where it's like all these words that you're word vomiting on people. Just ask them. Like, you've got the discount. You have the opportunity to coach the way I do. Are you interested in learning more? They say, nope, just want the discount. Say, great, just had to include it out there because I really think you'd be a great on our team. I'm excited to get this next challenge group started with you, and just kind of move on with it. But once you plant that seed, it's in their mind. Something else that I use a lot is referrals, because again, if you have, whether they're a great challenger who's an advocate that's going to refer people to you, they also, I've had this happen actually, a very, very steady, consistent coach who, she had 2 referrals for me, and she gave them to me. I asked in my challenge group, does anyone have any, any friends or family who might want to join us in round 2? And this girl was like, oh, I have a friend that wants to try it. And she gave me her name. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I have another girl who's interested. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you are signed up for the discount. If you would like, you can sign them up under you and I will help coach them along, or I can just take them. She's like, thank you. I'm not interested in becoming a coach. That's you. That's your role. You go for it. I said, okay. The next day she's like, I've been thinking, can I have my 2 referrals back? I said, you sure can. This girl is a stone throw from Diamond. I've never pushed her. She doesn't work the business the way I do, but she's an advocate. She loves the products. She loves the programs. People see what she's doing and they want to join her. She now goes on and she runs her own groups. She coaches them, but it's a very small, close-knit thing. It's different, but it worked for her. So don't be afraid to ask for the referrals, because that can spin many different ways, and it could get you to Emerald or help you grow your team and get that volume going anyway. So it's kind of a win-win all around. Talked a little bit about family members just through the different examples earlier, but I think it's important to ask people. I think that we're so hesitant thinking we're trying to sell people on something, but you can't beat Shakeology and the nutrition. You cannot beat it. You cannot get anything like it anywhere else. I want everyone in my family to have that every single day of their lives. So I was known for this in the beginning. I think when I went Diamond, of like the 12 people that make up your diamond, when you think of 4 on each leg and 2 emeralds, my emerald was my husband with 2 family members under him. And of the other coaches, 6 were other family members. I didn't force it down their throat. I loved and passionately talked about it, and they joined in. I don't know if they joined thinking 1 month they were going to try it to support me and leave, but to this day, my family drinks Shakeology every day. And it's not because that I have to, because I made it 3 years ago. They joined me and they're still doing it. So, I think sometimes you have to suggest it to them. It's not, you don't have to force it, but they might be interested. And if they are, they might just become really great lifelong members for you. I think that, when you're working towards getting to Emerald, it's exciting, and you might get your first 2 and be like, woohoo, I'm Emerald and it's done. But I want you to understand that people quit. Crazy to think, right? People delay their Shakeology. So even if you're on your way there and you're getting you've got your 2 people in mind, I encourage you to take it one step further. And once you get to 2, go for 4, because the last thing you want to do is get to Emerald and then lose it. But by getting to Emerald and going beyond that 2 to 4, it just helps you to continue to grow and expand your team. And then just keeping those people who come on, whether they're a discount coach or actually interested coach or just challengers, you want to treat them all the same, and you want to encourage and re-invite them to the next group and the next group. Ask for those referrals. Make sure they know what other products you're using and trying, so that you can continue to throw out the discount membership and keep the engagement up and keep your challenge groups fun. If you're having fun and loving it, people are gonna want to join you. It might take them a month or 2 or 3 to make a decision to become a coach, to make a decision to take it one step further, but they're gonna follow your lead. So your role is to continue to passionately talk about this opportunity. It's your party. This business is your party. You've got to invite people to join you into it. But when you lead with passion and heart and hustle, it's going to happen. Be consistent and just keep going. And I promise you guys, this business is incredible. Getting to Emerald is that first step, but there's so much more beyond that. So I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, by all means, please ask, and I will talk to y'all soon.